Hey everyone, this is Derek here, and as the video title suggests, today we're going to be taking a look at the abandoned fast food restaurant, one of my favorite underrated buildings on Erangel. There are actually 5 of these on the island. We're going to be taking a look at the island map in a second so you can see where each one is, and then we'll jump in game and I'll show you what I actually find while I loot a few of these guys. So I'm going to be looting starting with no items, that way you get the best sense of what's in that building, and I love it because there are 17 total loot spawns. You can do the whole thing in under 25 seconds if you are time crunched, and there's pretty decent loot there too. It's also only 1 floor, so you don't have to worry about stairs. So I'm going to be showing you a ton of examples, so once you see 3 or 4 of them, you probably have seen them all. Some are better than others, and I did this because I wanted to give you a random sampling of the types of items found here, and it doesn't really matter which location you're at. I find that the items are very consistent. So the first one is up in Severny, so it's pretty much dead center in the middle of town. There's also one in Yasnaya near the middle of town again. We have one in Lepokva, or Lepokva, I know I'm saying that wrong. That is also in the middle of town. We have one in Malta, you get the trend. And finally down in Primorsk. So there are 5 scattered around the map. You can see they are pretty well spaced out. And I might try to do at some point a KFC challenge. These, I believe, are supposed to be like KFC fast food restaurants. So I might do the challenge where you can only loot from these 5 places. So you can't loot off of anybody. You can't loot off of the bots. You can't loot from other buildings. You can only loot from these 5 buildings, and you have to try to win the game. So I think that would be fun. If you guys want to see that, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into the game where I'll show you what sort of loot this building contains and why I think they are underrated. Here's our fast food restaurant, our first one, and let's jump in and see what sort of loot we can find. So right away we've got a pump action shotgun, some shotgun rounds, a 4x scope, that's good find, some cosmetic items we don't really care about, a level 2 helmet, a Scar L, we've got a holographic sight, so now we have a 4x and a holographic, first aid kit, level 1 backpack, compensator for the AR, extended mag for the SMG if we got one of those, got a vertical grip, we have a vector, there is the SMG, so we already have an extended mag for it, as well as that compensator if we want to go that direction instead of the shotgun, but we already have bullet loops for the shotgun too. So you can see how dense the spawn of items is here. We've got a P92 if we want a pistol. We've got some 9mm for it. There is a vest, so now we have a level 1 backpack, level 1 vest, level 2 helmet, got a 2x scope, some 7.62, energy drink, upgrading that backpack to level 2. This is insane. So much loot here in such a short amount of time. There's an extended quick draw for the SMG, so if we want to go vector, and I think I will actually, so I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and drop the shotgun in favor for the vector, mostly because we already have a compensator for it. We will be able to get an extended quick draw mag. I believe we have a vertical foregrip for it, so that is a very powerful short range weapon, tons of DPS, and just like that we are done. So obviously could have looted that faster if I needed to. I'm going to go ahead and grab that extra 45 from that pistol there, the 1911 that we're not going to be using. But look at that. All that can be found. There's a flash hider for it. So I guess not a compensator, a flash hider instead for the SMG, which also does reduce recoil by 10%. So wow, what a crazy starting building, and this is why I think this is underrated. We've got a 2x, a 4x, a vector, and a Scar. We've got, we can get rid of the shotgun stuff. We've got a holographic if we want to use that instead of the 2x. I don't think so. We've got a first aid kit, 2 boost items, a decent amount of ammo, a pan. We have, you know, all the armor and the backpack like I talked about earlier. And overall, just a great experience and a great start to the game. So we're going to go ahead. This is another KFC. Let's see what we get from this one. We've got an M16, some 5.56, quite a bit of it already. We've got a first aid kit. Oh my gosh, we're starting again with lots of equipment. So we have the P92, I prefer that over the 1911. There is another first aid kit on the bar or on the serving. I guess that maybe that's like a server counter. So got extended quick draw for an SMG if we find one. We also have an angle foregrip. Level 2 backpack, we already have one of those. A third first aid kit, some bandages, so tons of healing items. In this one, we've got a gas can in case we want that. I think that was a stun grenade I just passed up. There's another one. I think we'll go ahead and grab that one. This time, not as crazy good equipment, I guess, but look at that. We still have an M16, a pistol. We have a level 1 helmet, level 1 vest, a ton of frag grenades, and a ton of first aid kits from this. A level 2 backpack, and again, from one building, one floor, something that you can easily loot in 30 seconds, some pretty amazing gear. No scopes this time, but otherwise, quite a bit of decent equipment found very quickly. So this time what I'm doing is I'm dropping, I believe this is the same one in Primorsk again. I'm just going to show you that these do not have anything on the roof. So I was curious about this because of course it is possible to parachute onto the roof, but I am quite certain that number one, you can't get up here unless, I guess maybe off of, I don't want to say that because maybe you can jump off of some crazy building and figure out a way, but it's very difficult to get up there unless you use your parachute. And you parachute in on top of it, but there's nothing up there, so nothing to really worry about. So here we are, we're framing the KFC, or the fast food restaurant. That's what they call it on PUBGmap.com, so I don't want to get into any legal issues there. I don't know for sure that it is a KFC, but it is a fast food restaurant for sure. And it looks rather interesting and has a ton of good loot. So we've got an S12K this time, a stun grenade. We've got an angled foregrip choke if we were to find a shotgun, a gas can. There is a P1911, the 45 pistol. What else do we have in the back room here? Let's see what we've got. We've got another, oh my gosh, so many shotguns this time. So again, this is random. Like, I want to show you just some random times I dropped here. That way I'm not showing you the best or showing you the worst. You kind of get a flavor of exactly what you can find here. Not necessarily what you're going to find, but at least you know what is possible. This time, only shotguns and a pistol, so obviously no great range weapon. I don't think there were any scopes. There was one holographic, that was it. We got a cheat pad for a sniper though. We still got a frag grenade, still got a first aid kit and an energy drink. Still have a level 1 vest, a level 2 backpack, no helmet this time. So this is one of the weaker spawns for sure. I think this is actually going to be the weakest one that we're going to look at, but I want to leave it in because, again, if I just show you when I get level 3 equipment or get a 4x scope and an M16 right off the bat, that wouldn't be realistic. And if you go and visit this location, you might not experience that same good luck and be like, oh man, this guy lied to us. This isn't that great. So I'm showing you why I think this is one of the most underrated buildings. And that doesn't mean that it's the best building. It just means that I think it's underrated for what it is. I think there's a lot of loot here. You can loot it very quickly, and it's generally pretty good. Now, if you're looting like the radar towers or the military buildings or the bunkers, those are going to have better loot in them because, well, everybody knows about them and knows they have great loot. This is one of the buildings that can fly under the radar, and people don't necessarily know how good the loot is. So we got some bullet loops for a Kar 98 in case we find one of those guys. Got a level 2 backpack. Red dot sight, gonna go again. We've got a level 1 vest. Uh-oh, somebody's shooting at me here. I have a military helmet now, a compensator for the AR. Taking cover behind, there he is. It looks like a bot out that way. Got a tactical stock for the micro Uzi. That's something that I generally don't use, but if you have an Uzi, might as well use it. So let's go ahead, use that stock to great effect. And look at that, it shoots like a laser beam, man. There's very little vertical recoil when you have the stock equipped. Most people don't realize that. We have some 5.56 military level 2 helmet. Got a extended magazine for that, or extended quick draw rather, for the Uzi now, so that makes that a lot more viable in short range. A 2x scope, looks like some 9mm as well as another Uzi up there, so let's go ahead, swap that out, get more ammo for it. And this time looks like a fairly average run of this fast food restaurant. So this time we got a micro Uzi with the stock and the quick draw extended, so that is quite good. We have also a flash hider on it, so that will reduce the recoil further. Got a pistol with a red dot sight, a pump action shotgun, and some decent healing items. So you can see the trend, you can see how this works out. And you can see that there is some variability for sure in what you find, but generally there's enough to get started just in this one building. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Whereas normally you have to go through quite a few houses to find, you know, a full set of armor and some decent starting weapons. Here you can generally do it in under 30 seconds, all while staying in the same building on the same floor. So I like to pick up 7.62 and 5.56. I've said this before, but I like to pick up those rounds anyways, even if I don't have a weapon to use them yet, just because those are the rounds that I tend to use later in the game with something like an AK or an M16 or an M4 or a Kar 98. So there is a level 2 vest this time. Got a level 1 helmet, level 1 backpack. Now we have dual shotguns, dual S12Ks. So I think this is going to once again be a shotgun spawn. So it seems like that is a distinct possibility when you're looting these places, is you could get the game where you get a lot of shotguns, and that's kind of how it runs. So let's take a look at one more of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and just drop the rest of my gear. I'm showing you that I did loot up initially just in case I got rushed by real people, but now I'm taking a look at what I can find here. Don't want to start with anything, of course, because I want to show you everything I find just from this building. So I got a police vest level 2 there, a smoke grenade. We also have a stun grenade, a level 2 helmet. So there's level 2 armor right off the bat. That's pretty good. Got a crossbow, crossbow challenge, maybe I'll do that this game. Extended quick draw for an AR, so that's a very good find for later in the game once I find one of those guys. Got a P1911 now, and I see something on the ground that I like. Gonna go ahead and check out this room first, but I do see that AR on the ground, and there is a flash hider and a compensator for it. So now we have an M16 with a bunch of 5.56, and now we have a flash hider and a compensator for it right off the bat, which is awesome. So we've got the compensator. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that on it there. Got a backpack level 1 as well as a first aid kit, those heal items. Can't understate the importance of getting heal items early, especially if you run into those early players or bots that you have to take out. Got an extended quick draw for the pistol now. We have a Scar L2, so now we have two 5.56 weapons, and let's see if we can 180 rounds total. That is quite a bit from a starting place. Level 1 backpack, level 2 armor, some boost items, a first aid kit, and this is definitely one of the better times. Got a suppressor for the pistol even. Man, look at that loot. So that is a great starting location right there. We are in the early game, and we have some pretty decent gear here. So there you have it, my favorite underrated, or one of my favorite underrated locations on Erangel. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up to help grow the channel, and share it with your friends because I certainly appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed already, definitely consider doing that now too, for tons more PUBG Mobile content, including gameplay, tips and tricks, loot location videos, and a whole lot more. My name's Derek G, and I hope to see you on the battlefield soon, or in my Discord, which I'll also leave a link to down below.